Welcome back everyone to ECS Season 2 Grand Finals live from Anaheim. We are into our final matchup of the evening. Back of course here with Wienecke and Lurpis once more for our final game of the day. Are you impressed by what you've seen generally today?
Well, I mean,
I know it's hard to impress you. I know it's hard.
It's definitely no. The answer is definitely no.
Well, it's been a couple of weird games, right? Because like we said, the Group B's been filled with stand-ins, and then the way Immortals threw out 10-1, 12-5, 17-15 leads in that game. I mean, like that kind of leads you don't just lose because the other team's playing great. You're also making mistakes on top of that. But I mean, it's been your standard day of group action, I think. I mean, the group stage is always
what
a bit
we've
of
come to expect in 2016.
bit of a hit and miss, especially in the time when teams don't have that much time to practice. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like everybody's going to be in tip-top shape at every single event. It's just not possible. There's not enough time.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's check in with the bracket right now and show you where we are through Group B. Of course, it has been, as Tommy has already alluded to, it has been a very strange day in many ways. One, we've seen Dignitas and EnVy go through to the group final in Group B. The winner of this game, our next game, our final game of the night, will qualify for the semi-final. So big game ahead for Dignitas and EnVy, and as you can see, SK Gaming, double major winners in 2016, against the triple champions of 2016 Immortals, and that will be the lower bracket game. We'll do that one tomorrow. Just generally, Wienecke, again another man hard to impress by a day's play.
Fair enough.
Is that the summary? Is that all you're going to?
I mean, it has
Can
been.
we get anything positive out of you today?
It has been up and down. I think this last game was maybe the one of the worst ones we've had today.
Yeah.
But it's just like some teams
I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it.
The game was entertaining.
Yeah.
Of course, it's obviously entertaining when it goes to overtime. It's just why did it get to overtime? That's the question. But you know, some teams are just off to a slow start. It's not the end of the world.
All right, let's take a look at our first team of this upper bracket final in Group B. Team EnVyUs first up have had a very good start to the day in terms of the result, as it were, but nothing more than. Are you all right there, Wienecke?
I'm in program still.
Of course, it is Apex, Happy, Kenny S, MBK, and SIXER in the
it's not
team.
still anymore.
No, it was still earlier. Did you notice that little mistake? You're not supposed to say those things.
I'm sorry.
Just gloss over them like a professional.
Sorry. I'm not a professional, obviously.
This lineup, though, performed well. Would it be fair to say that they've got to cut out on some of the mistakes if they want to beat Dignitas?
Yeah, but this is actually, you know, always say, is it good for a team to step into a game just after they finish? Well, I think for EnVyUs it's actually great that they had just played the game against Immortals because they are warmed up and they definitely need to step up to be able to beat Dignitas, even though they are fielding a stand-in.
Yeah, Tommy, you made the point earlier on, some teams don't like doing that, and some do. Some are more momentum-based. Virtus Pro, I remember, always wanted to just carry on playing all day long. They quite happily play one after the other, rather than play one, have a break, 3 hours, come back, get resettled, have to fiddle about with settings. And what was it like for you?
Well, I mean, I think the one deciding factor is like how much teams like to prepare specifically for opponents and talk about things. So for example, I mean, my teams were usually somewhat tactical at least, so we'd like to take time off, sort of, you know, talked about things. For EnVyUs, like Wienecke said, I think they're a team who probably like playing right after, because obviously a lot of their play is just based on aim and, you know, their individual skill.
Yeah.
Kenny S and Apex getting opening kills. So I think they're a team that probably benefit from being warmed up, having just played a very long game, whereas Dignitas, obviously, I mean, they've been able to play this time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they were just like ushered out of the area and just
Get
had
out.
to wait outside in the rain. It's just kidding. It doesn't rain here. This is not London.
No, it doesn't rain here almost ever.
This is London.
No, absolutely. Let's take a look at Team Dignitas and their lineup. Obviously, they are playing here with a stand-in. Valde did pretty well in the first game. I think he definitely had the better of the two replacements, that's for sure. Cajun, obviously, always expecting big things from him. MSL, the team leader, Config, and RUBINO. What do you make of their first match of the day?
Well, I mean, they basically closed out the game in the first half, so we never really got to see like a full.
It was very professional, wasn't it?
No, exactly. I mean, they just quickly went up so much on the terrorist side of the map that they basically closed out the game. SK's been poor on their terrorist side, even with FNX, and now obviously, you know, having to play with a new player without much practice is gonna hurt their T sides probably more than the CT sides. I would say on average. Yeah. So I mean, I don't feel like we ever really got to see Dignitas in the game. Once they went up 6-1, I thought the game was just about getting towards the end, and they were likely to close it out at some point sooner or later. And that sort of took all the pressure away from them. Whereas I think if they started slow, I think the game could have been completely different if SK just won the pistol and went up 3-0 instead. So I'm still looking forward to actually seeing Dignitas in a sort of a close game where they, where they actually have the battle for the rounds.
Okay, let's take a look at one of the players on each side right now. We've got Config and we've got Kenny S. Obviously, we saw quite a bit of Kenny S in the last game, and through the regular season, some of the stats on the screen do bear witness to how important these two players are and the roles that they play within the team. I mean, the stats obviously for Kenny S are exceptionally good. Not so good on Config's side, but just explain the importance to his team, Janko.
I think that the greatest benefit is his play style. Actually, it applies to both players. They're very aggressive. That means they can create a lot of openings for their teams, and they're actually very proficient at doing so. Now you look at the stat and you see ADR, which is the one we look at the most, and it's 80, and you're thinking this is not very high, is it? But it's across the season. I think it was 18 maps that you play. So across the season, it's a very, very good number. It's something that you want out of your star players to be able to, on average, when you look at it, put up high numbers. Because when you have a league system, obviously you need to be good throughout the season. Having a good finish and a bad start probably won't get you the playoff spot. So it was a great performance from both stars.
Okay, Vito's already apparently, so we'll pop those on the screen.
Paul.
Should we not bother with those? We've already had this argument, haven't we? Before we came back on air, we were already discussing maps and deciding.
We don't need the players for this.
We already did the no players required. No players required. No vetoes required.
We will treat it as if it's cobble.
We're all in agreement it is going to be cobble. Yeah. If it's anything else, what are you going to do as a forfeit?
I think the only other map that
nicely skipped, by the way. Well done.
I'll wear the chicken hat.
You wear the chicken hat. Good. Okay.
So I think that the only other thing that it perhaps might be would be Dust 2, and that would be Dignitas' mistake.
You're on the cobble train.
No, it is cobble.
We've already left the arena on the cobble train. We're halfway into San Francisco.
We're about to dock.
We can speed this up.
See, Dust 2 is gone.
Yeah. See, even
Actually, no.
No!
They left Nuke. Why did they leave Nuke? Why did they leave Nuke and Vito?
Okay. I just want to point out at this point that there is a chicken hat. It does now need to be worn for the rest of this segment. Thank you very much, Janko, for complying with the rules.
Seems like EnVyUs doesn't like winning games.
Can't see his face.
I mean, I don't know if they've been checking the statistics, but 19-5 on Nuke for a team that we've been saying for 6 months now are very, very good on Nuke. Why would you let them play it?
The problem here for EnVyUs is they want to ban a lot of maps. You can only ban so much. So I think when it came down to their last ban, it was Nuke and Train that were left, and they do play Nuke still.
Yes.
So maybe they were
played Train with this lineup either.
Yeah, maybe they were afraid that Dignitas was going to let. I don't think Dignitas would have went for Train. I think they would have played Cobble. So EnVyUs didn't take the gamble, and now they're going to have to play Nuke against probably the best Nuke team in the world.
And this was the exact conversation that we had before we went live. Is if you're EnVyUs, you have to force Dignitas to veto Train. It always kills me when teams know they have the leverage. Dignitas haven't basically ever played Train. When they've lost on it against some second tier to weaker teams. They haven't had good results on it. Just put it that way.
EnVyUs, last 120 games, they've played it 4 times and only won 1.
Exactly. And that was against Flipside.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, whereas EnVyUs, at least they used to play Train. They haven't for a while.
Yeah,
but they
not
used
with this team, but they were
used to play Train.
Great Train team.
And they have some good players to play Train. I mean, they have Kenny S first of all that you can sort of anchor the defense around. So I mean, if you're Dignitas, you're not going to play them on Train. You're not going to risk it. You would rather play them on Cobble, which by the way you're also very good at. So I mean, I just always get disappointed when I think a team has leverage to get to the one that is better for them. And if you went to ask EnVyUs right now, do they want to switch? They will switch in a heartbeat. When they don't use that leverage.
Yeah.
It just bums me out. I think you need to know when you have it and just abuse it.
Explain to the viewers why we were so convinced that it was definitely going to be Cobble.
Well, put it this way. EnVyUs, they're not going to play Mirage, obviously. then they're not gonna want to play
Overpass.
Overpass.
So they don't want to play Mirage, Overpass, Train, and Nuke. Those are the 4 maps they don't want to play.
And they've only got 3 bans.
But when you look at, Dignitas has more luxury. They will veto Cache. They will veto Dust 2 because it's EnVyUs' strongest map. And then the third veto can be whatever they want, whatever is left in the pool out of. It's probably going to be Train. That's what we were thinking. It's going to be Train. Then EnVyUs just veto the other maps and we're left on Cobalt, which is something that's very strong for Dignitas, but it's the second best map for EnVyUs after Dust 2. So it's like a compromise map. But EnVyUs doesn't go for the gamble to leave Train for Dignitas to ban.
Do you think there's any element in there, Tommy, of them saying, well, they're playing with a stand-in, maybe they're not quite so strong on Nuke with the stand-in?
I'm sure that's a factor they use to sell it to themselves as an easier fallback, but I still don't agree with. By the way, I think there's something in the chicken because Janko just got more energetic than he's been all day. Like he got so into that part just now, and this guy was dozing off in the trailer at times.
Yeah,
it's because I save my energy for the segments.
Right.
That's a true professional.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, welcome to the Esports Chicken series. I think that's what we're going to call this segment.
Yeah. ECS. I think for Nuke in particular, I mean, it's always, Dignitas made a mistake. I think it was Epicenter. They were playing Navi on it when we were like, Navi plays Nuke. What is this?
Yeah.
Dignitas made the mistake of letting Navi get aim duels when Navi was playing T side. So if you're playing a team that you feel you're better on Nuke, or you fear that their T side is weak at least, you don't want to give them aim duels because that's like something that they just get a chance to get an advantage for no reason. So I just would like to see Dignitas not fall into the same trap. And it will be interesting to see because they are a very elaborate team on the T side. I don't know how much time they had to practice things, to do dry runs with Valde, whether he knows like some of the smokes that they tend to throw or that Magic tends to throw in their executes. So that might be a problem for them potentially, that they're not able to have as deep of a playbook on the T side simply because they're not practiced on it. And that makes MSL limited in the calls that he can make, which can be a problem against an EnVyUs side, which can have a great CT performance.
I'm just hearing that one of the PCs is just being sorted out.
Of course it is.
Just
but I have to wear the chicken hat for one segment.
That's exactly right. Producers
40 minutes of delay.
No, just give Janko more pain. That's all he's actually saying to me right now.
To build up on the Epicenter point, is also they lost the CT pistol in that new game, and they kept force buying. And I think they went down something like 6-0 before they actually had like a full proper gun round where they got to do everything the way they wanted. And I think that was the other big issue that they did on. And the reason they lost those early rounds is because they did take too many aim duels. They kept pushing on CT side when you could have slugged down. But to EnVyUs' credit, these guys were really good on the old version of Nuke. I mean, this team aren't strangers.
This lineup's
to
not too
Nuke.
bad. It's 7-4 right now with this lineup.
I mean, they're an okay Nuke team. The thing is, they just haven't been tested on it.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been to a lot of these recent tournaments. Nuke's only really been becoming popular map over the last month. Yeah. Before that, everybody was saying something needs to happen. No one's playing Nuke.
Well,
and in the
apart
last
from
month,
Dignitas.
yeah. And in the last
it.
month, all of a sudden, everybody's playing it.
Yeah.
So I think EnVyUs probably has some potential to be really good on the map. I mean, Kenias was always the anchor for the old Titan teams, all the other teams, the French teams that he played for, or different rosters rather, of the similar teams.
And always strong on CT.
And NBK, obviously, someone who's always been really good on Nuke CT side. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I guess it's a bit of a question mark with SIXER, obviously, and just how good they are against a good Nuke team, because I don't think we've really seen them getting tested so far. They've really been playing. I think they had a good game against G2 at Northern Arena on it, but they ended up losing that as well at the end, though. Admittedly, G2 is a good Nuke team.
Yep. In terms of, we've got a couple of minutes, obviously, while they're sorting out the PC. We've seen all 8 teams now. So if I was to ask you now, who's the favourite for the tournament? Are you in a better position after day one to be able to tell us anything? Or, or is it just still so unpredictable?
I think it is, no matter the performances of the day. Like, if you just want me to say a name based on performance, I would say Astralis. Yeah. But I don't think that has to translate into playoffs, right? I think a team might just show up who will be better on the day and take the win. So I really think that it's going to be unpredictable until the very end.
Tommy, you agree?
I was just laughing at the chicken head. But I mean, I would have picked Astralis before the tournament, and I would still pick him. But like Janko said, it's not like they're like the runaway favorites where it's a huge upset if they lose. No, I mean, there's multiple teams that could beat them in a series.
Yeah.
But
like Optic?
Yeah, like Optic. And if Optic can beat them, maybe Cloud9 can beat them. If Optic can beat them, maybe, I don't know, maybe Dignitas with Valde has a chance.
Yeah.
maybe EnVyUs if they catch fire now.
Is it fair to say still any of the 8 teams could win this? Or are there clearly a team or two that maybe you think,
I don't think there's any team that you can say they have no chance.
Yeah.
Like there's no team you could bet your net worth and feel comfortable on that they're definitely not winning. Like that's just how the game currently is.
Yeah.
It's just
very representative of the scene as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, like, to touch a bit more on Nuke and how it's becoming more and more played, I think it's a matter of, like, Dignitas is probably the main culprit of that, because they've become so good on the map and they've started introducing new things, and that gives, other teams can now copy that and they say, oh, we don't have to go yard and ramp every round on our T side, we actually can do these nice, cool things as well and win some more rounds on the T side. So then more teams start picking that up. I mean, NIP was also up there with Dignitas even early on, and then you see VP, when we think that they're not playing the map in New York, they come out with it and have again some cool executes of their own. And now then you widen what is like the standard on the T side, and more teams start picking it up, and now we see the CT side evolving more with more setups towards yard. I think that was something that was lacking a lot.
Does this not feel very similar to new maps and maps that have been rejuvenated and reintroduced to the pool in the past, though? Don't we often get this where you find maybe one team go, if we learn this really well, we'll have an edge for a few months?
I mean, that's why they picked it up, because
and then it takes sort of 3 months before a few other teams kind of pick it up, and then suddenly 6 months later, and it's just part of the furniture again.
Yeah, but I think it's a bit different with Nuke than it was with Cobble and Overpass, because Nuke it's the same map structurally, nothing greatly changed. A bit of stuff with when you were before able to plant on the silo and all of that lets you go for some different executes and the change stocks. It's nothing major. Yeah. While with Overpass, it's obviously a completely new map, so you have to learn everything, the timings and so forth. And I felt that teams, even on the old version of Nuke, were not as creative, perhaps, as they might have been, or not utilizing everything you can do on the map. It's still extremely difficult to play the T side. A lot of things have to go right. You have to win the round by doing, by doing a particular execute at a particular moment, because that will force a reaction from the CTs in the following rounds, which allows you to do other things, right? If you just keep...
Would you like some good news, Janko?
Yes.
The torture of the chicken has come to an end.
Thankfully.
It's good news, isn't it? It is good news, because we are ready to start our final game of the day. I think he just wants to keep the chicken hat on, personally. Let's send you over to our commentary team for the final game in Group B.
I thought I missed Janko's mohawk. In fact, I do miss Janko's mohawk, but that chicken hat makes up for it. That has to be permanent, I think.
It does look very good. It suits him. Yeah. Matthew, just to be clear, there has been an update for Nuke this week. We are not going to be running with that patch. There are some few changes that make it a little bit more T-sided, I would say, considering some of the changes I've read. The squeaky door, for example, you can now nade that and actually get it to the bottom side. The upper rush has become a lot more viable. So we are playing on the old version of Nuke still, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We actually panicked a little bit there as we haven't cast that yet.
It's true.
So we had to look at the patch notes and we just made sure and double-checked. So we are playing on the old version, which is good news. Obviously, these teams probably wouldn't have had a chance to actually play that new version. It seems like quite a lot of important changes in terms of like the way the tiers approach the map. Like Dignitas haven't been home at all yet, so it's just like they're gonna have a tough time to actually make these changes for this tournament.
Yeah, no, exactly that. I'm excited to see changes still come into a map. I'm glad that they're still adapting to it. It seemed like it went a little bit. I won't say still. I don't think the map went still. I think the map was still developing, but it seemed like it went a little bit slow in terms of updates for a map.
Yeah.
Considering Valve's pace, when they normally put something in, they're normally quite quick to react, as they were with Inferno, for example, skyboxes, etc.
Yeah.
I think that there's still some things I want to see come back. I still want the second vent, but
I don't mind the single vent. I think it's okay. I think it makes things a little bit more.
My hair, Henry. It was perfect.
I think it looks a little bit. It makes things more interesting for rotations of CT. So it's a tougher time. Once the bomb get down to lower, it's more difficult to get down there now. But still, the retakes for the CTs makes things more interesting.
Retakes is definitely something I can enjoy because it becomes more predictable in that sense. What I don't like is the teleportation strat, when you rush in the squeaky, go down the first vent, pop up the second one. That was one of my favorites.
That was cool. Just to be clear to everyone, we just heard on our edit, it's going to be a 5-minute delay here. One of the PCs died on us.
You can never get through a day when you're ahead of schedule. It's impossible. It's not allowed. It's against the laws of Counter-Strike.
So it will be a little bit of delay here, but I guess we can handle that. That's absolutely fine. Nuke, the first time we've seen that in this tournament, at least.
Yep.
It's always a fun map to cast. Rip the spectators, though. They're going to have a real rough time here. I know they're not 100% right now as well.
The observers, you mean?
What did I say?
Spectators. That would imply everyone in Twitch chat.
Oh, right, yeah. The observers. Yes, you're right. So they're going to have a fun time here. They're not 100% well either, so that's going to be fun. So I actually had a chance to actually go back there. I had some work experience earlier. I got to be a spectator.
You were.
An observer.
I noticed it was really hard to watch this morning's games. I couldn't figure out why. Now I know.
Yeah, the ECS guys said, I've got an opportunity for you. You can actually have a go at observing a game.
Which player do you think will make the most difference in this map? Out of all 10, there's 10.
Okay.
Pick one.
What, was this going somewhere?
Yeah, just pick one.
I'd say Kenny S.
Really? You're going to go with the AWP again for EnVyUs. There's the man right there. So, a little bit slow. Just played a game. We know these teams are rigorous and seasoned enough to play back-to-back maps. They do it all the time in best of threes. He came alive late. Could bode well for him in that sense.
Yeah, he did really come to life that last round, especially in double overtime. Managed to secure the round in a 4-on-2, looking very good towards the end there. Regulation wasn't too great for him, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. So, guys, we are going to be in Anaheim throughout this whole weekend, of course.
Yes.
We're in the convention center. We are here right now.
It's right beside Disney.
That's true. That's where you'll be going tonight, I think.
That's not true.
Tickets are still available. Matt, you know all the information. It's going to be csgoleague.com. I believe anaheim.csgoleague.com if you want to get specific tickets as well. They're available at the door as well. If you're a student, you can come for free. That's pretty cool. You're way too old for that now, but you used to be one.
Why am I too old for that?
You're like, what, 33 now?
I can still do a master's, a PhD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too old.
No, you're never too old to learn.
I might be too old to be a student, but I'm not too old for students. Hey. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, Anaheim, we've been in Santa Ana last year. Or I was. You weren't at the Anaheim Power Cup. We were in Oakland, obviously, this year. We were in LA a few times last year as well.
Yeah, we've done lots in California recently. We've done LA. What's the other one called? I'm forgetting now. The ESL one we did. We did Oakland. The other one we did. You weren't there.
Oh, San Jose last year.
Yeah.
I was thinking this year. Yeah, San Jose, which is roughly very close to Oakland. So, yeah, very cool. And yeah, Disneyland. I'm not gonna go there.
You're not gonna go there?
I would if I had a full day. I could have gone this morning.
Those Ducks are playing tonight. I heard you like those.
The Anaheim Ducks are playing tonight. They're playing against the San Jose Sharks. Good little rivalry. Yeah, you gonna go? It starts in 13 minutes.
Okay, we're going to make it. So
yes.
This delay is not going to help us out.
No.
We did just hear something earlier. Did you hear it?
I did not. So
if you
heard it, it's probably because you're a crazy person and you have voices in your ear.
Yeah, but they're all my voices. So
that's
different versions of me.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's scary. Yeah, I don't know if that's worse. Different versions of HenryG in your ear or just multiple different voices in general?
Well, I don't know. Look at me. I turned out all right. Didn't I, Matt? So this is the last game of the day. Let's move on.
People don't know.
This is the last game of the day. Good one as well. Winner bracket.
Yes.
Dignitas versus EnVyUs. Just to note as well, Dignitas a little bit of a caveat there. They've got a standard coming in. You saw a funny tweet before we went into this one.
I did. Would you like me to read it?
When you read it,
it came from Striker at HLTV, who's always doing good work. It was a great interview. Apparently, a lot of people are raving about it in terms of, he didn't hold back config. This is a direct quote. In our boot camp, we played with Ruga instead of Valde for the first 3 days, and he is really shit, so it went like shit. Config 2016.
I didn't read the article just yet, but I did see an extract saying they tried to get Pimp as well.
They did. I saw that from somebody quoted it. I think that was the headline. But they got Valde. I mean, and as Lurpus pointed out, he's the most plug-in-and-play perhaps into some of Magic's positions. Most notably onto something like opening
Pimp
statistics
would have made a lot
on
of sense. He's in America already.
Overpass. Pimp would have made a lot of sense for that reasons. Logistically, it would have cost them less. He's played with Dignitas before. He's played with a lot of guys in this lineup before. Obviously, not all of them. They went through a number of changes since he's left, including.
He was in Dignitas before, of
course.
Well,
that's what I just said.
Oh right, I thought you meant the team. I just thought.
Yeah. No. He's been in Dignitas before, so he's familiar. It seems like the no-brainer, but I think Valde's actually pretty good because you bring Pimp back, and Pimp's being kind of shuffled around into a more hybrid position. You've already got Cajun dedicated op. We know in his late days on Dignitas, he was trying to be the AWP player. Where does he fit? I think Valde's a good choice. I think they're going to be all right.
I think he's great. He's definitely been the MVP for Heroic recently. He's been almost like superstar levels in terms of the game they're playing, and the last time we saw him as well looked fantastic. Yep. So I think it's a fantastic pickup. But they've already made mincemeat of SK Gaming.
Yeah, well, that's the it. I mean, Astralis already topped Group A, and Dignitas is looking good in Group B. Yeah,
absolutely. But EnVyUs, bit of a slow burner. They did win their game against Immortals. Wasn't their best showing, though, I have to say. On Nuke especially, we're not live. Just before we get too excited, more delays, of course. I think we've got a couple of.
It said the interesting. We went into that because they said it was going live. and then you saw the team kill and said not live, and then the producer said not live.
Yeah.
So we got confirmation at least, Henry, just to be sure.
Well, there you go.
You can continue your point.
Just for Nuke, Dignitas, I would say maybe considered the best Nuke team if they had their full 5.
I think NIP. I still think
overall,
NIP.
yeah. Have we seen them play it yet in a big game?
They've played each other on it in a big game. Interestingly enough, Dignitas is the one team that beats NIP, but NIP's record is still the best of any other team.
I think it's a toss-up between those two. I think that's absolutely.
I think the only 2 losses NIP has is to Dignitas, if I'm not mistaken. The interesting thing is that NIP throws the 3 smokes outer to go to secret with the wide smoke, so they can actually push inside of the red crate toward the garage as well. Whereas Dignitas, despite how good they are on the map, throw the stupid 2 smoke, and it's not that you can't throw this 2 smoke and get away with it, but they always leave the gap. There's always a gap in the Dignitas smokes.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's something I want to see them tidy up.
And NIP have certainly innovated the way the game can be played. Their lower execute through the vent as well is really well timed. They get 3 players in the squeaky room door. Like one's throwing a smoke, one's throwing a flash, and Freiburg dives down the vent as it's all going off as well. You can't really see it coming at all. And then they've got, obviously, when they get lower control, they have their smoke. They drop on the inside of the doors towards the lower bomb site. Managed to get that planted, so that's also really cool as well. A lot of teams started to do that.
You highlighted Kenny S. For me, the player I want to watch is still cajunb on this map. I think the way he plays...
They go 2 AWPers.
Well, that's... I mean, Majestic's a pretty good part of this map for them as well. Obviously, his fragging potential is huge, but the way Cajun is dynamic, I'm going to put out a guarantee. The Sadokist guarantee, and if it's wrong, students can get in for free. I will get all students in for free for this event if it's wrong. And if it's right, you can still come for free. Cajun, the way he's dynamic, you will see him in 3 different spots throughout the course of this map, minimum. You'll see him back garage, you'll see him rotate through lower to secret, and you'll see him inside of heaven, anticipating the wraparound with a more passive angle. All 3 with an AWP if they have the economy. He'll also go to ramp occasionally. It's not common. What he likes to do is try and rotate out from either locker or heaven into turnpike very quickly if they do attack ramp. So he plays a support role in that position. But he's very dynamic. They don't rely on all 5 being heads up. They let him float. It's kind of cool, actually.
Well, time will tell whether they can still be the same strong unit on Nuke as they are their 5-man team. Look at those headsets, Matt. They've got color-coordinated headsets with the jerseys as well. I
heard they also have color-coordinated underwear.
I heard they don't wear underwear. That's like the secret to their success.
You definitely heard that more than I about them. I don't know
how
you
know
that.
I asked the right questions, you know.
Well, I guess no underwear is still coordinated.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit more messy.
Well, yes.
Well, we can see some.
I'm wearing polka dot.
I don't know what I wear. I think green. I like to wear green.
Wait, I'm not. They're grey.
You really have let yourself go. You're wearing tracksuit bottoms today.
They're fantastic, though.
That's when you know you've given up.
You didn't notice this until now, though, did you? Exactly. So I went home, and I was like, look, I fly a lot, and my sweatpants are destroyed. I bought 3 sick pairs of track pants. These ones are actually quite expensive. I have to say, a lot more than I wanted to spend, but I got 2 for 1, even still, very expensive.
Yeah.
And I bought a couple, and I went to a bar in town. My sister was having a little party with some friends, a keg party at a bar, and wore a dress shirt and sweatpants, and everyone all night was saying, oh, you look, you're well dressed tonight. It's a pretty casual night, and I was wearing sweatpants. No one noticed.
Were they black ones?
They were black,
okay, so
skinny fit. Everyone thought they were legit dress pants, and they were totally joggers.
You've broken fashion.
I mean, Kanye West broke fashion for us. If there's anything good Kanye West has given to the world, it's that I can get away with being a lot lesser of a human being, and it's acceptable now.
Well, there you go.
So, yay to Yeezys.
Yeah, well, there
Speaking
it is.
of Yeezys, I think it's Majestic Boy that owns a pair. No, it's Kirby. Kirby bought a pair of them. That's right.
So did Thorin.
Yeah, Thorn's yeah, you can't help him. Can't blame him. Might as well just be balling out of control.
Yeah, why not? Well, there's another player to look out for in his career now. Config, very, very strong player. Had a great game earlier versus SK Gaming. He's certainly one of the superstars of Dignitas. They've got a great little trio there with Majestic Boy in the lineup as well. Like the fact you've got so much firepower on this team, it's kind of nuts to think. Like Majestic Boy, Config, Cajun as well. RUBINO can have his moments where he's absolutely lights out. MSL, the in-game leader, actually getting a lot better. He's kind of known to be like the mastermind behind it all, but we saw him especially against SK as well. Some great shots with the AK-47 and actually managing to bring some rounds in Dignitas' favour. I think we can look at the chat right now. Doesn't look like it's going live any time soon, you know. The headsets are off. That's normally a sign of severe technical delays.
Yeah. Kenny is cursing.
Cursing?
NBK is calling for Lord Gaben. Config doing the same. And then they're calling for an admin.
So we did have, just anyone who's just joined us, there was a PT that died on us. We've replaced it. And I'm trying to read the chat now. I can't really work out. They're just talking nonsense. It's lots of lols and just single characters and memes. Matt, can you work out anything from this?
No, I'm looking at Twitter. It's more entertaining. I was wrong. It's Professor from HLTV that did the interview. I apologize.
Very squeaky chairs here today.
Yeah, don't break them like Alex tends to do occasionally.
Every segment he seems to do in that ESL studio. It's like the sea collapses every time.
It's true.
Right. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, the final game of this evening, I assure you, it will start. Well, I can't assure you, I don't actually know, but it should start very soon. You can see the guys looking quite relaxed, quite jovial at the moment. It's Cajun enjoying himself, kind of in a slouched position as well. Not ideal for pro gaming, but
I tell that to JDM.
Well, his is more like calculated. It's very like a plank, like that. He was very slouched.
Can you do that again? Can you turn sideways and do it so we can see the angle that you're getting to? Let's see if you're getting to an acceptable JDM angle. JDM, Josh, if you're watching, is that acceptable?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there you go. That's slouched. That's not ideal when you got the hand up as well. Screenshot it, guys, please.
Yeah, do it.
Send it to the cleaner.
That's fantastic. Yeah, the cleaner.
Photoshop
That's
it.
right, the cleaner. Someone bring back that lovely gem. Yeah, good old Cajun B.
Good old Cajun B.
He's a Dane. I was gonna say he's a Great Dane, but he's just a Dane. He's not a dog.
So guys, there's the information on your screens once again. Come and join. Matt's going to do a meet and greet tomorrow as well. So if you want to come and meet him,
okay.
He's doing a very special meet and greet for all of his fans.
Woo!
And he said all students get in for free, courtesy of Sadokist as well. So it's going to be absolutely fine. So Matt, have you seen out to the main arena yet? Have you seen the stage?
It's actually sick looking. Yeah. It's it's a more intimate venue. I think I'm kind of glad like Boston Major's doing it right now in Dota. Our Major's going to be going to a slightly smaller seating format. I don't think we need to try and constantly be selling out big events, especially when North Americans had quite a few as of late, more than normal. And it's quite spread out demographic in terms of viewership here. It's not centralized like you get with a small Sweden or a Ukraine where you've got very specific viewer bases.
And it's more like when you're talking about DreamHack and stuff like that. That's where we just came from, right?
Yeah,
That's been building up for the last 15 years. You're going to have a massive crowd there, regardless, right?
Yeah, well, and they're a little different too because they have the BYOC and they're not focusing as much on the spectator and the live
this is
audience.
Like a bespoke event just for this, right? And it's in a region, I guess Anaheim, you can't just say, oh, that's the home of Counter-Strike. North America, it does bring great crowds here, but I don't think we have to rely on saying, oh, it has to be...
Exactly. It doesn't need 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 every time. Sure, I'd love to have those numbers every time, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't need to have that. Like, the people that were giving backlash to the majors saying, oh, it's only a 5,000-seat arena. Yeah. Go back and watch. Look up, I think it's called, they've swapped servers, by the way. That's what we're waiting for. Look up I think it's called The Play Multicam Edition when Na'Vi flanks back around and reverses on, I think it's IG when they were playing in that game. I can't remember. I think it was IG when they used Rubik to steal the black hole. Or maybe it was Ravage. I don't know. I forget. It's been a long time since I actually invested time into Dota. I miss it. But they were in like a small Benaroya Hall in Seattle. And it's like a smaller venue, and it was so hype. And there's people that still say that was some of the best events they had just because the atmosphere was better. You have better acoustics inside a smaller arena with lower roof, echoes more. It's easier to fill up. It's easier to get camera angles that look better. I think everything. And then like this one's kind of like Lanxess, or not Lanxess, Spodek in Poland, where it's got a circular shape to it, which looks great on camera because it gives you more perspective.
You get that nice like fisheye kind of look at it. You can get the whole crowd in. I think we're back into it. We're back. I don't have an IP for my PC, but we're going to try and roll.
You don't need one, Henry. For
Nuke, to be fair, I don't really need it. I can manage without on Nuke. Oh, I'm still back in. It's fine. So here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay, but here it is. The final game of this evening. Dignitas versus EnVyUs in the winner bracket of Group B. And it will be Superman bifurcation B. He's got the Tech 9. They've actually got 2 Tech 9s, and it will be maybe focusing towards ramp. That's quite probable. It's not a much used area on the map in general, but in terms of the pistols, it's a very advantageous place to go. If you get control of ramp as the gateway for the map, you obviously have the option to go upper and lower. CTs don't have much vision. SIXER will be there by himself for now. NBK coming to back up, but we'll see whether Happy can hold him off. Players in front of his screen right now. Takes a kill there. No one looking at him. And looks like EnVyUs will be running away with this pistol. Still a 3-on-2. And Happy just sealing the deal there with a nice little play. No one checking the hut position at all.
I'm
getting a bit of a nightmare
sounds.
with the sounds.
Yeah, I think our observer PC must have had an issue because we're getting sounds from one and the camera from another. It's kind of cool. Happy silencer was very silent.
Yeah,
I will say that.
I think we've got like 3 observer PCs back there, and I think we're probably on the wrong one right now. But here we go then. Oh, there is an interesting buy coming in from EnVyUs. 4 SMGs, not a single rifle. The bomb did not get planted, I believe. I can't actually remember. No, it didn't. So, interesting that Dignitas haven't force spawned in this round, but EnVyUs has come in with 4 UMPs. It doesn't really put you in a fantastic position in that first gun round. Kenny S will be getting the AWP out, presumably. He's only got a Tech 9 that he picked up in the pistol. And And Apex, I guess if you farm enough cash for these UMPs, and you... Okay, Kenny, why not? Why the hell not? 2 kills from him.
Unreal. I love it. Tech9 as well. We just talked about the fact that he's not buying in strictly for the sake of an AWP. Good positioning from Apex. Finds RUBINO. And then Happy takes down everyone. All the SMGs stay alive except for Kenny, and it doesn't matter, as we said. He's up to 48-50 already. Now, him going down, the one aspect of it is that there's no armor, so going glass cannon against what will just be pistols is probably not ideal. As such, stick on the USP.
Well then, no full spy from Dignitas in the second round. Got a couple of pistols there, but Kenny S, he does go down. Doesn't buy a single thing into this one apart from armor, so he's just still hoping he can keep the USP up. Get some headshots. The bomb goes down the upper bomb side. Not really too much to report. It's a very clean round for EnVyUs overall. We did say going into this one, Dignitas, I guess if they were their 5-man team, I'd say they're definitely the favourites going into this one. With Valde there as well, yes, he's a very good player, but it's a very difficult map to actually get that cohesion together and make sure everyone's on board. It's a very tactical map in that sense. The timings are very important, and we'll see whether he can slot in here. I'm not sure how much time they've had. It can't have been too long with Valde practicing with them.
Well, they had a boot camp, and 3 days they used Ruga.
Yeah, so that wasted 3 days.
Well, they can still go over set pieces for everyone else. That's where you focus on positioning and set smokes and stuff like that.
First gun round, we got 4
rifles
UMPs
and 4 SMGs. 5 rifles and 4 SMGs. I knew where you were going with that.
And
so it's almost a full bonus. It's not quite.
No, the full bonus is Jaden, remember?
That is the Jaden round. She was sassy to me this week when I was home. More on that later.
Yeah, maybe say that
Kenny
later.
S, AWP. I think she's just being a diva because I'm never there. MSL is going to start to walk back in the main lobby. This is an interesting pushback up, though, because we just saw the positions. They're very aggressively placed inside of that lobby angle, and Sixer's slowly backing away as Happy tries to do the same because the smokes are out. They're covered off. NBK goes down. Sixer as well, found both by Config, and now everyone's going to pour in. This is why they do the bonus round. Again, it seems silly to push that carelessly when you've got guns, but it is the SMGs. They're trying to catch them off. They're trying to take advantage of the situation. It still somehow comes to a one-on-one. If they manage to win this on the back of Kenny, think of the money advantage they've just given themselves, and Kenny's going to play this the long way. He's going to go as far back as possible. Cajun grabs the bomb and gets to the A site quickly. Kenny drops in. Cajun should have heard that. Spotted. Tries to fire through. He's got the position, but he's not got the gun back. Drawn does now.
Oh
Cajun nearly found that
He hits
time
him.
and tagged up. Got the shin bone, but not enough. Cajun's going to clutch it back. Again, though, they've got money still on the EnVyUs side, except for that of Kenny. However, look at Apex. 10K drops it over.
Config there can't believe his luck. They've got the... It was, what, a 5-on-3 at that point? And they decided to push in. Obviously, you can see what they're trying to do. They think, they never expect this. We've got the SMGs. Let's use them in their best possible way. They'll push in close range. But when you've got the 5-on-3, is that a good idea necessarily? You still got the man advantage. You've got lots of tight choke points and positions. You can get guaranteed 1 kills before the teams can even look at you. And Config mows them down. Yes, still we have a lot of money for EnVyUs here. But I don't think that was the right call in my opinion. I think when you get that man advantage with the SMGs, you probably just want to capitalise at that point, use the numbers in your favour and make Dignitas going for the next move there. But still, it was round number 5, like you said, lots of money available for the French side. They have got the AWP Kenny S dropped over from Apex. And we go into smokes towards the outside area.
That's cool. It's a new lineup for that red box smoke. So I don't know if we can... Yeah, the one on the right of Kenny right now between blue and red. That was thrown by Config, if I'm not mistaken. I lost track of who I was looking at. From on top of the rafters. Very neat lineup, because look how far back it forces the AWP. Happy and Apex, as a result, try and get closer, and they get covered off. That's a direct wrap inside of A main with nothing they can do to slow it down because the AWP is forced so far back.
Yeah.
So a change in smokes from what we normally see from Dignitas. They're still reinventing the map for themselves.
Oh yeah, it looks like it was very effective indeed as well. There was no response from EnVyUs at all. They didn't have any players in towards main entrance. It was MSL and co running towards the main entrance themselves and finding 2 kills, and the retake almost impossible at that point. It was a 5-on-3 and another player goes down. I think it was NBK that got dropped after finding that first frag into the opposite bomb side. Sixer now does find an exit frag. He'll probably want to get out of this situation right now. We have got Kenny S surviving as well. He's towards CT spawn. And I think they're going to be aware of that, especially now as he takes down RUBINO as well. So they managed to keep 2 players alive. I think the money's okay for another round here as Sixer finds his second frag. It's in vain in terms of the round outcome, but still managing to stay alive and damaging the money further of Dignitas. So still a buy available for EnVyUs, especially now they've saved those 2 weapons, but a nice strategic approach here from Dignitas. I agree with you, that was actually quite cool to watch. As we go into round number 6 here. You can see this is an interesting decision. We have got Config on a Mac 10. In terms of his money overall, he'd been dropped a little.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. It's not necessarily I'm reading the economy, but the good news is 4 CD players do not have head armor.
still pay dividends, and that's going to require a lot of activity, and a lot of activity's already gone down. Happy and NBK, 3 kills in the site. There's the MAC-10 though. He's got the movement mechanics, and he's upgraded onto an M4 immediately. He's got his teammate in the site with him. But Sixer's going to find Vald. It leaves him the last alive. Bomb down to his right. He has nuzzled into the corner. Knows there was one at the main entrance. And got the comms from his teammate going down that the other was inside a hut. He's going to take this play without knowing exactly how aggressive their stance still is. Manages to get a bomb down, so smart on him. Smoke off to his right will leave a massive gap, though, toward the main position, but will cover him off when he's in this corner, watching Heaven instead. And the rotations, as of yet, are not going that direction. In fact, they're going to play the buddy system, stick this together, both inside A main. Kenny's on 36. Config flashed out, tries to get inside a hut. Spots one, knows they are now both coming in from the same direction. Reverse flash, goes in behind him. Nade's going to take him down to 47, but he's got to make a call. Does he play the bomb or does he jump through a window to flank them back? Instead, it's Kenny that's going to greet him with the pistol.
Nice approach there from Config. Good ideas and how he could have won that round. He Molotovs the bomb, buys himself a little bit of time there, gets in towards hut. He misses the flashbang when he's trying to bounce back into the bomb site. That could have been interesting had he successfully done it. Could have gone for a frag there, but it actually bounced off the door a little bit. And you can see quite patient stuff from EnVyUs there. Bomb goes down. It does allow Dignitas to buy at least. It's certainly not the best buy. 2 AKs, a UMP, 2 Tech 9s. Have got nades though. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a very similar approach to the round they won before. Those smokes towards outside, get in the main entrance, and maybe just try and rush them down with those Tech 9s. We'll see what they decide to do as we enter round number 7. It's been quite a quick half so far. Config lining up a smoke. Maybe we can have a look at him.
We're going to see it. No.
Oh, he was lining up a
smoke. He was, but I don't think he threw it. Either way, it's going to be Apex push back up. Cajun, he'll be the one to fall. Not sure if we were going to get the spot that or not. Apex is going to fire through smoke that's onto Squeaky. Again, we are playing the older version of Nuke. I know you already mentioned it, but not everyone may have been with us at that point in time. So
well, yeah, we weren't 100%
sure.
So yeah, we just double-checked the patch notes and had a look around. There is a new version of Nuke, which looks really interesting. Well, not a new version, an update to Nuke. And it makes things a lot more interesting in terms of the upper rushes for the T side as well. Lower's been changed quite dramatically.
Yes.
But we're not using that today.
Well, specifically Toxic.
Yeah.
RUBINO waiting to go through said squeaky door with Tech 9 in hand. It's Happy that's going to climb up. Railing here is also being removed, which I think is a good change because it's too easy to hide behind it, too easy to have damage lost inside of it with bullets deflecting when they come through main. Good spot and good takedown from Happy as Apex, he's able to take 2, wrapping back in behind them. And another good round for EnVyUs as they go 5-2. Remember, Dignitas, often a very, very solid Nuke team.
Yeah. Still, they've got 2 rounds after number 8. Like, this is okay. That force buy didn't really amount to too much. I'd like to see a bit more tactical, a bit more of a set piece potentially. Like those Tech 9s actually caused some damage there. You can see it looked quite comfortable for EnVyUs overall. Going towards upper at the end, it's pretty easy spray down with the CTs. It will be a full EK here, not a single dollar invested. Just double checking that. There's not just 5 Glocks, no armor, no nades. They get the bomb down here. I'll eat my proverbial hat.
Nice shot back in return. He's got to be careful. Kenny only goes on 52 on that dink because it came through the edge of the box. From that, none other than a lovely Glock. Happy's able to take him aside. This should be a cleanup. Not by the cleaner. He's the last of which to get cleaned up. 6-2 for EnVyUs. Guns drawn again. It's going to be 5 AK-47s.
Yeah, we were talking about cajunb being the main AWP for this team. Hasn't really had the opportunity to bring that
side
up
he will,
yet.
don't worry.
Yeah, of course. But like the T side, that's a pretty solid default for a team to run. You know, go towards outside the basic smokes, and you got your AWP. Go over those picks as well, and CD trying to recover from that position. So I'm sure that will come out eventually as we go into round number 9. There's going to be AWP still for Kenny S, of course, and he'll actually be bunny hopping in towards the ramp room. Can be a very impactful play to go in for that first frag. You have got a nice little exit strategy to get out of there as well once you find that first kill. Smokes come in.
Smokes. Oh, it's just barely there. If you were crouched on the ground, you would see through anyone in heaven. Yeah, anyone in heaven's not going to. Good pickup from Apex, though, as he shuffles over to the back squeaky stairs. Good read. We want to see more dynamic from this CT on this map in terms of that 5th player. I still think there's more availability, but that time Apex tries to read the fact the smokes were going there early. Down 1-1. So still a 4 versus 4. Kenny's going to back away as well toward the ramp. Cajun's already down below, and he's covering off decontamination, so Bomb just needs to get in safety. Good pickup from Config as well, as Kenny on that AWP would have been threatening from that position on the entry from ramp. Good pickup from Happy, better still as he walks back down. This is going to give 2 inside of the vents itself. Cajun's just going to watch the back of it. No escape plan and low HP. He's able to now be the cleaner and clean up too. Yeah,
pretty textbook round there from Dignitas. More of what we expect from them. The smokes towards out to get that secret control as well. Very fast towards lower and managing to hit the bomb down quickly as well. cajunb finishing things off there. Simple frags as the CTs come scuttling out of the vents and they get taken down there.
Scuttling.
And it will be... What was that? Is that impression?
Yeah, it
didn't sound anything like my
It's
accent.
just a very English word of you to say.
It is. I haven't said that in a while. It felt quite satisfying.
It's not a bad word. It goes through some nice phonetics. Your voice, your mouth goes through some good forms.
Yep.
Scuttling. Did you know that watermelon is the only word you can say that puts your mouth through pretty much every form the English language uses?
Watermelon.
So if you're ever at a concert and don't know the words, just lip sync watermelon.
Yeah, that's true.
My sister taught me that.
Well then, we go into round number 10. There was a pause coming in. This is tactical from MBS. So after losing that round to the outer execution, I guess you could say, it was a player there waiting in secret. He managed to get one kill, but Dignitas locked it down. Once you find that player in secret as well, it's going to be very difficult for the CD to rotate, and that's why you go very quickly in that scenario. And Dignitas capitalised, make things 6-3. Still all available for Kenny S. Not the same story for Dignitas just yet. Maybe they don't want to roll with that at all on their T side. Happy to go in the 5 rifles. Does make things a little bit more dynamic in terms of how you can stick as a unit and operate in the post-1 situations. Flashes towards outside once again. Same smokes going down as well. I think they've maybe changed things up. There's 2 smokes towards the garage area instead of actually locking out the vision, though, from the CT side of things. Interesting. Is that a missed smoke, do you think?
I'm not 100% sure. I didn't quite catch where it was thrown from, but covered all of it in two fashions. It's a wraparound play. It's happening in Apex, though. They're able to get the jump with them. Sixers contributing as well. Valde, be careful. He's not your real teammate, but for this weekend he is. You're not my real dad. Kenny S takes down Valde in the end, 7-3, so MVS do respond after the timeout. And that's going to leave money quite limiting. Yeah.
Hard one at that. So, T-side don't necessarily have to double eco, so they've got about 2,600 across the board, so they can just take an eco here. They'll get $1,900 the next round. Won't be good enough for an AWP, but they can still get the 5 AKs out. So at this point, MVS can probably sit back a little bit more. They've got 3 players coming towards ramp, it seems, from what I can see in the build-up there. It's difficult on Nuke to see what's going on these days. NBK goes straight down towards lower, presumably heading towards secret. And Kenny S locking things down with the AWP at ramp.
Sixer just quick check at Turnpike, so he's playing more of the dynamic positioning this time. Instead, though, Kenny, he's found one on his own legs the second as well. This will bring Sixer back. Calls for the rotation. Good timing to get here. Overcommits, though. Watch to his left. Does he snap back in time? Certainly does.
He does indeed. Very comfortable stuff. 5 players staying alive there for MVS. And Dignitas, the gun rounds, the ones that are winning, have been very successful and look great. But there's not getting a ton of them so far. 8-3. MVS have won the half. We still have a pause coming as well. Tactical pause for Dignitas. I can confirm that.
Thank you for confirming that for us. I can confirm your confirmation.
Well, there we go. Can production confirm your confirmation of my confirmation?
I think they have. They've put it on the screen.
Well, there we go. It's all locked in.
Take that, Valve. We have 3, not 2.
And it will be 8-3. So Dignitas, the money's not fantastic. I've seen a Galil being purchased, and they can buy an AWP. Config, I think that's what they've probably taken this pause. Config could buy an AWP for his teammate and drop it over. He wouldn't have armor, though. He's got 5k in the bank right now. Galil's always be purchased for MSL. I would say with that Galil purchase, he's obviously opted for more utility. Maybe outside execution coming in again, same smoke towards secret that worked so well before. Maybe one player towards ramp as well, coming for the back stab. MSL, he's plotting something, he's scheming away. You can see him discussing with config there. What have they got up their sleeve? What's outside it seems, though, like I said, the smoke's more than likely to be coming out to block off that entrance towards secret, take the vision away from Kenny S. Apex waiting it up for the upper rush coming in. Not going to be the case just yet. Valve, of course, shooting out those windows at the top, the skylights. You want to do that pretty much every round. You don't have to use them. It just means it's not super obvious when you do have to use them in any given time. Number 12, getting to the closing seconds of the first half. Dignitas looking for 2 more rounds. I think they'd be happy with. Apex open things up, and NBK in a great position to shut down this outer execution now.
Double smoke play again toward red. NBK is on the wrong side of it. 31's aggressive. They could have given him a chance to push up and wrap behind. Config's aware of that, so he's got his attention turned back. Again, there was a small crevice between the smoke and the edge of the red crate. No one at A main to spot that, but NBK,
what is this?
Down below. Fire extinguisher with a can of flames in his hands. Perhaps he's anticipating that they're exactly going to do that, try and put the flames out, but they can't.
So he's using like a real small pixel gap there just to get the information. It's very unlikely they can kill him with that one. So he spots that and just drops incendiary, buying time essentially. Not going for kills. He knows the time is getting to like the 45-second mark, and he's seen them pretty likely they've committed at that point, like 3 or 4 players. So he can just delay them and call for this crossfire to be set up.
Interesting thing is that on the back of that SIXER stays all the way toward lockers and doesn't watch A main. I would have expected Happy to get a little more aggressive in A main and hold them in the stairwell with that confirmation, but Valde, you're dead right. Valde, he's got all the way up into heaven, caught off by Apex. That's going to bring out him in the corner. Watch Happy, he's still here. He's not been found. Good trade by Cajun on the way through, and Config's going to try and follow this up. A little bit of confusion. SIXER therefore gets the kill. EnVy is going to win it on Kenny, still being inside a hut as a result.
We didn't catch our first kill from Apex, so I'm wondering where that went, whether we went a little bit aggressive there or the squeaky door opened. Maybe we can find out right now. Here it is, perfect timing. Nice work, chaps.
Just sprayed into the smoke as soon as he saw the door open.
Yeah, this is the good thing about having replays on Nuke. You do miss a lot of action. It's a really difficult map to work out what exactly is going on at any time, so that's amazing. So we got to see that nice close range action from Apex, funnels him outside.
It's not bad for an Overwatch observer.
Yeah, he's doing alright. Sliggy on the buttons backstage. We'll see what happens there. Round up for 13, Ken. Yes, it's going to be a full eco. I was about to get excited, Matt, but I held myself back.
Stepping up as you said he would do, though, Kenny, on this position at outer. This is the new spot for the Oppers. Secondary position at big garage. They don't play as aggressively toward the corner anymore. He's on 14 kills. Add to that, he's on 15 kills, and NBK will close out. It's Apex that's up there with him. Both those guys looking very, very solid right now. Double anyone else on Dignitas.
10-3. By coming in, here we go then, Cajun. He brings out the AWP. We've been waiting for it for a while. Doesn't have body armor though. Not such a huge deal on Nuke, I have to say. It's one of those maps where if you're going to have confrontation with players, it'd be very long range, and it's either be you're dead straight away or you're not. Like obviously against the M4 it's a bit of a problem, but going toe to toe against Kenny, which is more than likely going to happen, won't be such a huge deal. We'll see what happens here as we get into number 14. The smoke's being deployed towards outside, it seems.
And this one's going to bounce. Should be the same landing position. There it is at the red. So now they can put the one on heaven as well, or rather not on heaven, excuse me, on top of the back crate on the corner as well. So this will allow them to wrap all the way around without being spotted. But look at the push back.
So good.
EnVyUs catches them out by pushing in through ramp instead. Valde gets back down through the ladder. That'll catch NBK. Bomb was dropped temporarily, but more importantly, Kenny says this time, rather than leaving himself isolated and redundant in CT spawn, he wants to push and gets caught off as a result of it. Thankfully, Happy's pulled this back.
Better off being in CD spawn, though. At least he can lock down heaven and say, that's clear, don't worry about it. I'm not going to get any kills, but at least you know I've got information. And now he's died, pushing through that smoke, which is just a huge gamble. He's giving it down to a 3-on-3, and now they actually have a real problem shutting things down with SIXER coming to life once again in that lobby area. Finds cajunb and T-spawn.
Times it perfectly as Cajun, I believe, just switched to a nade. MSL's going to get smoked off as well. Very good read in the fact that they would have wrapped around knowing they killed Kenny at outer, so bombs still not necessarily grabbable, and look at the positions. Happy. SIXER, and if I'm not mistaken, we just saw the X-ray. Yeah, Apex inside of the A site. He'll have heard them running by at ramp.
They've got a Molotov as well, and at this point, MSL has to push through. Oh, this is looking awkward for him, but almost got that kill there with SIXER. He finds his third of the round, and Config giving his position away. 25 seconds, still hasn't got the bomb. Oh, it's getting a little bit tense here, but they should be able to just reload now and recalibrate themselves. That is wallbangable. You can see damage being done, and a kill as well, just to reinforce my point there as we go into the 10-second mark.
Watch the right. Doesn't read it. SIXER, good positioning, waited patiently. Through the trophy cabinet. That's not a bad little wallbang.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Look at the money for EnVyUs.
Yeah,
right
it's the last round, right? So it doesn't really matter that kill.
I know, but look at the money.
I
want that money.
I'm just saying that Config getting a kill there didn't have any impact.
It's true.
So yes, Dignitas 11-3. You need 4, like that means you just have a buffer to lose the pistol. It's still a very CD-sided map, and I say in this matchup especially with Dignitas not having the full team, I'd say it certainly is going to be a CT-sided affair for both sides. We're going to round number 15. 4 AKs, a UMP, 4 smokes. Amazing situation for Dig right now, but if they can pick up this last round, at least they've bought themselves the risk to lose the pistol as well. The SIXER has such a strong position. We call this the OP spot in ramp. He has 2 from it, but equally responded is going to be Dignitas, making it a 3-on-3. But Kenny S on the rotations. No one going to be walking to his crosser this time. Dignitas opt to go straight down towards lower, but Apex lying in wait. Can he do anything with this position? I think he can, Matt. I think he can.
He definitely can. They're going to walk right by lineup as well. Drop down. He's got 2 already. Find the third, and Apex. All 3. Good call. As he gets 12-3 on the board for EnVyUs. Dominant first half, and I think Dignitas have met their match on this. I don't think they were expecting this from Nuke. I know Yanko thought this was going to go to Cobble and was surprised Nuke wasn't banned out. This is why.
Yeah. This is lovely positioning from Apex. Like, I could feel it coming. As soon as I didn't check it straight away, I thought, that's it. He's just absolutely lighting them up right now. This last shot is stellar as well. Look at that. Valde goes down. How do we pronounce it on? Do you say Valde?
I say Valde. Valde. I don't know.
Okay.
I think I had it right at one point in time in my life.
Just forget how to say it. Just go with something else.
You know.
Valde, that sounds right. We'll go with that one. 5 sets of armor for Dignitas here. No kits. That's a bit of a problem. The bomb goes down, and we're going to have smoke going in towards the hub position. RUBINO have a chance to get the first couple of frags here, but knocked down by NBK towards lower they go as well. No presence there for the CTs whatsoever, and the bomb should be planted at this point. Like I said, no kit, that's a massive problem. That's even more of a problem as Happy finds a kill towards outside. Round over. Valde. Last player towards ramp, and before I can even kind of build up a storyline there, the round is going to be over, and it's going to be 13-3.
Yeah, that's a huge problem now because Dignitas 12-3. You talk about that second pistol, you put pressure on it. They failed to pick up the one on their T side. They lose their CT side. This goes to 15-3, and Dignitas don't have money to build up that AWP. We may not even get to see that very dynamic style of play, and I can't say this is pented on any one particular person, and I say that obviously due to the fact that they have a mercenary, so this is just a team issue in this game for
There's
them.
only so many maps you can get sorted out, right? Obviously they're very comfortable as a team on Nuke. They feel like there's not that much work needs to be done, but evidently a few holes to plug at the moment. As we go into round number 17, it's going to be a force buy, of course, from Dignitas. Looking to maybe do some of these 5-7s. Should be able to get his first kill here. A lot of damage inflicted towards Kenny S. Doesn't get taken down just yet. Towards lower they go, though. That's a problem. The CTs, as soon as that bomb planted, that's pretty much round over, I'm afraid. SIXER finds his second. NBK chimes in as well. These rounds are over so quickly, and Config finds himself in a 5 versus 1 situation. But flashbang in hand, and now gets himself a UMP.
Config jumps back through window, but bomb planted lower. Well and truly out toward Toxic. You were saying that in the new map, they updated the plant position in lower.
Yes, you cannot plant on the silo in lower anymore.
I liked that.
I kind of liked it as well. I think like in the sick clutch situations, if you got down in like a 3-on-1, you had a real good chance of winning. I thought it was actually quite an interesting addition. I didn't mind it at all. It was like a high-risk situation to plant there. Like you had to have balls to actually get on top of that and actually plant in that position. You're so exposed. Once the risk was taken, it was successful, it was worth it. I find that a bit of a shame they removed that. But,
I agree.
Anyway.
But balls then exposed aside, 14-3 for EnVyUs, and again...
yeah, you can't really force into this round either. You're going to have to allow EnVyUs to go to 15-3 and try and just squeeze out 12 rounds in a row. Can be done before that. I once lost 14-1 in the semi-final LAN on the T side, and I came back and won 15-0 and got myself in the grand final.
Were you playing against bots? NBK going to take down MSL. NBK going to take down RUBINO as well. Good entrance into the upper site. Again, the pistols, that's all they've really got to work with. They have just 3 players, now 2 players remaining as well in this, so not much chance to find anything at all, even for Valdemar.
GG.
Do you want to continue that sentence?
No. Which one?
The Moses sentiment.
The Moses sentiment?
GG.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, right.
You figured it out. Map point going to be attained now for EnVyUs, but this is where things, if they're going to get interesting, we'll do so because we've got guns out. Again, we won't have the AWP, so we'll see how Cajun chooses to approach the situation and where exactly he's going to play this from. Because it looks like it'll only be one Danish team at this point in time moving forward. In the groups, it won't be Dignitas matching that of Astralis. It may be a French side of EnVyUs.
Thing is,
Not
when you
a lot
have
of people in this group might have expected.
When you have match point at this sort of stage and you have 12 rounds, you can afford to be a little bit looser. Just take some risk at this point, just do things nice and simply and quickly. And you can see nice little execution towards outside. 3 smokes going down, plugging all the holes in terms of gaps out. No way CD can even challenge that. They know Kenny S, I should say Kenny S, Cajun won't have an AWP at this point. And they've got 1 kit and 1 smoke remaining. That's about it. This kill has to come event for Config. Does damage and manages to take down Apex. A chance here. If he get a second as well, that's fantastic. Good work from Config.
Very good work. In fact, Cajun stayed so passive, he didn't have a lot of information. They just called they didn't know, hence the angle he plays. But RUBINO caught off by Kenny. Happy follows it up, and it's just 2 remaining. Cajun's not sure which way to even go on this because they could go back up the vents onto the A site just in the fact that Valde's holding them off. And if they do so, he wants to be in position. They've done exactly that. And SIXER going to read this. Plant safe behind the silo. Second man spotted. Cajun can't hit the shot. Leaves him exposed. 2 players going to peek him. Kenny puts him down, and it's on to the mercenary. And keep in mind what this means for the group. And it's all over now. EnVyUs will move through. Dignitas, who absolutely smashed SK, get beat twice as hard here. Now may end up playing either them or Immortals in a decider. This group's gotten very interesting.
Yeah, great news for EnVyUs. It's quite rare to see them have a clean run in the group stages, but they've actually managed to do it, coming out top in the group as well, so that's good stuff for them. Much better performance than what we saw against Immortals. They are actually looking much stronger here on Nuke. We have to say, Dignitas, not their usual self. We said it could be a problem going towards Nuke. Yes, 1 player doesn't sound like a big deal, but for anyone who's played in this CS team before, just changing one of your key and your star players into a map like Nuke, yes, they're very good at it, but obviously the coordination wasn't quite there. The set pieces they were doing were quite good, but just the general defaults they were lacking in getting shut down by EnVyUs overall.
And I'm not going to speak too soon because it's not done. We've had 9 different tournament winners, tournament, I say bigger tournament, premier tournament, over $250,000 prize pool, 9 different winners in 2016. The 2 teams that have made it through the group so far today are not one of those 9, so we're still in the mix of everything that's exciting. I enjoy it. Yeah. I wonder if our desk does. It's over to you, Paul.
No.
Yes, we are here. Thank you very much to Sadokist and HenryG, and also, of course, to James Bardolph and DDK earlier on for their commentary today. Final game of the day, very big win.
Yeah, I mean, this rarely happens, as we were saying. Usually the last game of the day is the one that
triple overtime.
But it turns out the schedule got mixed here between the teams because that was the previous one.
What do you make of that?
Well, I think everyone who was like questioning EnVyUs and why would they let Nuke through don't know anything. I think that's pretty clear by now. No, but the fact is, like, this is the way that EnVyUs can beat Dignitas on Nuke, right? You have to have a strong start. You have to probably win both pistols, and then it was in the first half. After Dignitas started coming back initially, after they lost pistol, winning the gun rounds, then EnVyUs managed to break their economy again. And every time Dignitas would win a gun round, actually it was just one round after that, EnVyUs would reset them yet again. And they had full control of the economy throughout the half, played very well individually, and just by winning the second pistol round, they pretty much won the game right then and there.
We saw, Tommy, there was a break. Dignitas decided that they needed a timeout, they needed to talk about it. Very animated MSL in the middle of it all, and I think mainly the kind of chat there was more like, we need more rounds, guys.
Yeah, no, he actually seemed stressed. It didn't seem like he was
They all seemed a bit stressed.
He didn't seem like he was just calmly explaining, guys, this is what we're doing wrong, this is what we need to be doing. They're playing this way, so we need to adjust by doing this, and we're going to do this, and then this is going to open up, and this is how we. And it's more like, kind of looked like he was kind of biting his nails, sort of, guys, this isn't how it's supposed to be going.
I think it was only a couple of, not even mistakes, like details that determined especially the result in the first half, because Dignitas won 2 consecutive rounds after being down 3-0. That's where they think, okay, now they have to be equal. I think they were counting on that EnVyUs is going to be on an eco because they go for an upper rush, pretty much. And that backfires, that they lose that round, and that sets them back tremendously, because next time they buy, it's not an optimal buy either, and even though they win that round by going secret, when they were at a disadvantage in utility as well, the following round they can't close it out. They get reset, and that's a huge problem on that T side.
We mentioned 2 players before we went into this. It was Config and Kenny S. I think we've got updated statistics on those 2 players. How did you feel they impacted their team's play?
Well, I think Kenny had a great impact, managing to find openings on the CT side, of course. Config, it was more difficult for him, obviously. I feel that if he had won that 1v2 that he was in, that would have done an insane amount of work for Dignitas, but he was in an unfavorable position.
Config also didn't play poorly, though. He was the one who won the first gun round. He got the 3 kills in the lobby when EnVyUs went for the delayed push. Didn't have a bad game, but it's just not a map where, like Janko said, basically Nuke is like Nuke T side is like the opposite of like a plane crash, where a million things need to go wrong exactly in the same sequence, the same way for it to happen. Nuke T side is the opposite, where a million things have to go right for you to be able to win a round. Generally, if you're playing against a good CT side team.
And you'll always get worse stats if you start T side and you end up losing the match as well.
Exactly, because you don't get to rack up your easy CT half and play the whole easier side.
He had great stats. He had over 100 ADR and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 players that I would pick out if we weren't going to talk about Kenny S again, it would probably be Apex and SIXER having really good game on Nuke.
Apex especially, that round that we just saw the highlight of, and then the final round, of course, CT side and the lower side where you got those 3 AK headshots. Just a very good player. I mean, he's obviously one of the more explosive players in general. And here we see this.
Yeah, this
triple kill round.
Apex, right? Being able to shut his opponents down pretty much by himself. But yeah, we saw cool stuff from Dignitas in the first half on the T side. What I really like is when they throw the smokes outside, it looks like they're just going to go secret, like the default stuff that the Ts do, but then they just pop flash and come into the upper bomb side. And they did that, I think, in the first gun round or the second one, and they won the round cleanly. They tried to do it again afterwards to sneak their way through, to just walk to that area of the map, but EnVyUs had better positions that time around. They were able to shut it down.
The thing is, Dignitas actually did a really good job of sort of eliminating Kenny S from play with the smokes. They had that smoke on top of the CT, I guess the blue container now. And basically, Kenny S was never able to really get entries.
You liked that smoke, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it worked perfectly. Forced Kenny's to rotate really far away. It seemed like Kenny's couldn't really get entries, but the problem is that they just rotated to upper, and Dignitas weren't decisive enough to do something right at that moment after the smokes popped, and he still wrecked them regardless. Yeah. But I mean, thought it was a better effort from Dignitas than the score would suggest.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point in the first half, Wienecke, barring some mathematical issues, you thought it could have been pretty even in the first half.
Yeah, it's just the way CS works. I mean, you lose pistol, it's much more difficult for you to gain momentum. You have to win more consecutive rounds to get control of the economy. It's extremely hard to play T-side nuke when your opponents have full utility, any weapon they desire pretty much. And when you look at it, Dignitas won 3 gun rounds in the end. Right? If you win pistol, that can mean 8 rounds on the T side, or even 9, depending on the timing of when you actually win them. So it's a bit unfortunate for them, but props to EnVyUs for being able to close it out in those really high impact rounds when the economy was at stake.
Yeah, was a terrific performance by EnVy, and we're going to confirm that for you right now by taking a look at the Group B bracket to show you exactly how things panned out here on day 1 of the ECS Season 2 finals. EnVyUs in the big queue at the top of the page. They have qualified for the semi-finals and will top the group as well. So they will play the second place team from Group A. At the bottom of the bracket, you can see Dignitas have now dropped down. They'll play the winner between SK and Immortals. Games, of course, tomorrow in the lower bracket. That's Group B. Let's take a look at Group A. Earlier on today, Astralis come through with a very impressive run in their 2 matches, defeating Optic after a bit of a revenge match from E-League, and then taking down the highly informed FaZe. They qualify in first place of Group A. Down at the bottom, Optic taking on Cloud9 in an all-North American affair down in the bottom bracket. Winners will go on to face FaZe. Just a reminder for you as well, those games will be best of 3 tomorrow. So that'll sort them in from the boys, Janko?
Yeah, everything from this point on is a best of 3.
Yeah, absolutely, all of the games. We also have the schedule for you tomorrow as well. So this is what you've got to look forward to tomorrow. As if you haven't already enjoyed plenty of great Counter-Strike today, tomorrow sees all of the best of 3s. We'll kick things off with Optic versus Cloud9 at around about 10:15 local time in the morning. SK Gaming versus Immortals will follow. Then the final match of each group will be the final 2 games of the day. They will decide our 3rd and 4th semi-final. So that's what we have to look forward to tomorrow. Thank you very much to both of you, and also thank you to Fifth Laren as well. It's been a very fun and interesting day, and we're fast approaching Christmas, of course. So some early Christmas presents have been dealt out to EnVy and Astralis. But what are you getting for Christmas? And more importantly, what are the players getting? We'll see you tomorrow.